Obviously, just to work through them, the 160 champions, Gennady Golovkin holds the IBF title. What do you make of Gennady? Do you still feel that he can operate at the best? Talks again about him possibly facing Canelo in September, but with Gennady, what do you make of him still?
Gennady, he's still tough. He's still, they don't lose their power, but they lose certain things. He's not what he used to be. The big bad monster. I could be wrong. He switched trainers. Now he's on his boxing stuff. I see Canelo, washing him up, and he's still a contender. But hey, I like that fight too. I'm real cool with that.
Talk to me about your style. From what I've seen of you, you're very aggressive. You like to throw many punches. Talk to me about that. How would you explain your own style?
Yeah, my style. I like to throw punches and bunches. I can sit down and bang with you if you want. We could do that. I can switch it up. So my style, I like a lot of fighters. I watch a lot of Bob Foster, a lot of Tommy Hearns. So, I really like Roberto Duran on the inside. So I like being aggressive. So I like doing whatever you expect me to do, I'm going to try to switch it up. And, I just try to do what you don't like.
Just to obviously move back to those 160 champions, we've touched on Gennady Golovkin. You've also got Demetrius Andrade. Some talks that he might move up to 168 and vacate that belt. But what are your thoughts on Demetrius?
Oh, Boo-Boo, that's the homie, and that's him and my brother. They're real close. I sparred Boo-Boo a couple times, because we're both from the same area. But it was cool. He really spars my little brother all the time. That's a great fight. He's real slick, lefty. I like him. That's one of my guys. But it's boxing. It's boxing. I'll fight him. At the end of the day, it's boxing, man. It's me again. That's for Boo-Boo. Yeah.
That's what I was about to ask. Obviously, you said that he was one of your guys. Would you still fight him if the opportunity came up?
Yes, sir. Right away, man. Send the contract right now during quarantine and all that.
And obviously, so we've touched on Golovkin, Charlo, Demetrius Andrade. Canelo obviously holds belts there, but I know realistically, I don't imagine that you'd be facing him if obviously you've been sparring him, or do you feel that there's any possibilities down the line something could happen there?
Me and Canelo I say it all the time. It'll be a great fight because we know each other. It'll be on some Dragon Ball Z stuff. We're gonna go at it. It'll be good for the fans. I would take that fight in a heartbeat. I wouldn't even think about it. I think they'll forge my signature on that. They wouldn't even ask me.
I mean, obviously, just to touch on that, the WBA, we've got a number of belts. We've got the regular champion, Murata. What do you make of Murata? Would you fancy that fight?
Tomorrow. Yeah, I'll fight Murata. That's probably, ranking them. And Murata's probably, I want him first. If that's the way to get the belt, I could take him. Like I seen him fight a bunch of times. He fought Robert Grant. Yeah, I like that fight.
And then obviously
I forgot about him, but now that you reminded me, I'll fight him tomorrow.
And then a man who holds the interim title, Chris Eubank Jr. Again, your thoughts on Chris?
Oh, Chris, solid fighter from where, from out there. But he's trying to state his claim over here, and I'll take that too. What's crazy about this little interview? Everybody you name, I ain't gonna shy away from. You know what I'm saying? But Chris, he could get it. He could get it. If we putting them in order, it could be Murata, Chris, and Charlo.
What order would you rank the 160 champions going from top to bottom? How would you rank them with regards to their toughest challenges that they'd pose to you?
That they, that with their fights and
who
they fought.
Who would you see as the best to the worst 160-pound champions? It's a better way to
from what we named. Canelo's probably not that he the homie, but he up there. He put in his work. He fought everybody. And then, like you said, Triple G fought a gang of people. Fought Danny Jacobs. Danny Jacobs was solid. Then who else we had? But between Boo-Boo and Charlo, that's up and up. But Boo-Boo's the homie, so we're going to put him above Charlo. Yeah. Then Charlo, Chris Eubank, and then Murata.
Obviously, you've mentioned you're looking to move back to 160. How do you feel with that transition from 168 to 160?
It was probably like the best move that I could have done, you know what I'm saying? Because I weigh in at 167, 166, and then the next day at the fight, I'm 172. I ain't really gained nothing. So they told me, like, yo, you might as well grind a little bit more, go to 160, and you can still come in at 172 and be the bigger guy. And I felt that last fight, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, I still got energy. I felt great. But the last fight, I I woke up, I weighed in 161, and then I was gonna shut the pound, but then my opponent, you know, he was the A side, so then they switched it. He was a little bit heavy, so they was like, you know what, this fight's at 164. All of a sudden. So, you know, but I still felt solid, still felt the bigger guy, and that's the new move. That's the movement.
That move to 160, do you see yourself in the future moving back up to 168, maybe when you're coming towards the latter stages of your career and it does, as it is with every boxer, just a bit more difficult to make weight?
Yeah, definitely. You know, well, shit. Excuse my language. I'm 30 now. You know what I'm saying? If I can make it now, you know, it's gonna get harder. But until I do what I got to do at 60, then I'll definitely move up. If I get it done at 60, I'll definitely go back to 68.
Obviously, you've mentioned it a few times now. You are 30. You fought 20 times so far in your professional career. With lockdown as well, with your hand injuries, when boxing does resume, do you feel the pressure to kind of try to engineer a big fight in some way to make up for the lost time that you've had throughout your career so far?
Yeah, you took the words right out of my head, man. Yeah, that's what it is. You know, this year was gonna be like, all right, it's now with this little pandemic or whatever, this little break, it's go time. And I feel like boxing needs to put back on their shows. They need, you know, everybody been missing live sports, so they're gonna be throwing fights back to back. They should be fights Monday through Friday. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm willing. If I stay healthy and do what I gotta do, I'll fight back to back.
So how do you kind of see the coming year or so when boxing comes back to some form of normality playing out for yourself?
Yep. When it comes back, we just tell, you know, when it comes back, I just want to get on the ball. Like, I'm not gonna waste no time and, you know, say I'm not ready. Right when they say the doors is open, crowdless fights or whatever, I'm for it.
I know you've got those ambitions of trying to challenge for and win a world title, as do many boxers. How difficult do you think it will be to engineer yourself into a position and to move into that position to fight for one of the belts that we've touched on previously?
Yeah, like we talked about, it's just 1 or 2 fights away. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, it's boxing. Sometimes a kid gets a break. They just be like, oh, we ain't got no opponents. We'll give you a shot. You know, Charlo just fought Brandon Adams, you know, like, not taking away. Brandon Adams is the guy, hell of a fighter. He won the contender. You know, he fought him. He fought Hugo. So I feel like I'm right there with these guys. So just fight me.
There's obviously, you know, some talks at the minute as well about behind closed doors boxing shows returning. We saw it with the UFC this past weekend. Would it be something that you'd be interested
What, in the UFC?
in? No, having a behind closed doors boxing show.
Oh, yeah. I wouldn't mind. Yeah.
What do you make of it if that was to happen?
When you say it like that, that's with the no crowd and all that stuff?
Yep.
Yeah, you know, I talked about that with my homie. Like, those guys that are nice in the gym, them little gym fighters, they gonna come to fight when they don't get that little crowd and all that. And, you know, it's time. Fight all these guys in their hometown. They ain't got no backup. There ain't no crowd. So go get it cracking.
Ronald, obviously, before I do let you go, then I just wanted to get your thoughts on a few things in the boxing world. Starting off with we've mentioned Canelo, your past sparring experiences with him. How would you rank the pound for pound list in your own opinion?
Hey, my own had the pound for pound list. Oh man, caught me off guard. I got a gang of fighters to go on that list. Shit, no order. Gotta probably throw Terrence Crawford on there. You know, I really like him. Spence, Tyson Fury. I still like Joshua. Lomachenko, of course. Oh man, those are Tank. You know, I like Tank. He's solid. Those are probably the guys, man.
Obviously, you mentioned Terrence as well there, and Errol Spence. A lot of talk about that possible fight down the line. In your opinion, how would that play out?
That fight, it was a 50-50, but you know, Earl, he's real. He's solid. You know, he's a big guy. But Terrence Crawford, he just got all the moves. You know what I'm saying? He can move, he can switch up. I think he's just naturally athletic. And, you know, that whole weight class, 147, you know, it's for the take. I like that weight class. It's packed. My little brother's in that weight class. You know, he's coming up. He's 22-0. They ain't showing him no shine, but he's on these guys' asses too. So, that fight's 50-50, man. I'm leaning a little bit towards Crawford.
Ronald, before I do let you go to enjoy the rest of your day, I just want to leave a final word with yourself. What would you like to say to everybody who tunes in to watch our interview?
Everybody that tuned in to watch the interview, you know, watch more of me. Next time we do an interview, hopefully I'm in a better position. All this will be over. And just stay tuned, man. It's going to be a great, great upcoming with the boxing going on. And appreciate it. Thanks for taking time out, my homie.
Ronald, we'll keep in touch. I appreciate you giving up some time today. Best of luck with everything at the minute and with the rest of your career. Stay safe during these tough times as well. And I'll speak to you soon. Thank you for speaking to Boxing Social.
You too. You too. Take care, Andy. All right.